Good morning and welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little inspiration, maybe a little motivation, and perhaps a way to cope with your day. I am Mike from Virginia, and my gratitude today is for fond memories.
Hey, good morning, folks. My name is Earl Rule, hailing from the beautiful state of North Carolina. Uh, my gratitude for the day is kids graduate and lots of celebrations.
Hey guys, I am Christine Wright, hailing out of the great state of Florida. My gratitude for the day is date nights. Last night was our date night and we had a lot of fun, so love those nights. And today Jay Shetty talked about random acts of kindness, which he's talked about multiple times, but this time he was talking more about the science behind it. He brought up three different groups that they studied. But like one of them is, what if you're waiting on coffee, right? You're stressed, you're feeling anxious, you're in a hurry, right? And then the person in front of you pays for your coffee. What a surprise, right? And how are you feeling? Elated, probably full of joy, right? Like that was a really nice gesture, right? And then he also brought up the same scenario, but this time you pay for someone's coffee. How do you feel then, right? You're probably hoping that you get the same reaction out of the person that you had the reaction of, right? We tend to underestimate the positive reactions and the charitable behavior that this instills, right? Because you do this, and then next thing you know, the person that got the coffee is doing it again, right? We're paying it forward. And people will perform more acts of kindness if they know how it impacts somebody, right? If they know how the feeling is because they had it, they're going to continue to do it, right? Another way is giving out compliments, right? It gives us the same sort of feeling and it improves our moods too, right? We tend not to recognize how much this can impact us. And then the last one was performing the acts of kindness for 7 days, right? This made the subjects happier. And it doesn't matter if it's a friend or a stranger that you're performing the acts of kindness with or the compliments with, it won't matter, right? More kindness is definitely going to lead to more happiness for you and others. So, what's one small deed that you can do today? You guys, I love this one because you know how I feel about being generous to homeless people and even like, especially females, I can tend to compliment their accessories, right? I try to give compliments to anybody, especially when they're wearing like jewelry or something easy that I can be like, oh, okay, I can compliment that, right? Because it's got to be genuine. I'm not saying just go up to somebody and start giving them all these compliments, right? It's definitely got to be genuine because they're going to read right through it, right? What do you guys think?
First of all, I don't think men in general are wired to give out compliments like women are.
No,
I'm
I don't
not
think
going to,
that's good.
I'm not going to, you know, somebody complimented Jennifer last night on earrings, like, yeah, she's wearing earrings. So what? Like, oh, girl, I just love your
Yeah,
style today. Not,
for
not,
sure.
not happening.
No,
Um,
especially to another male, right? You're definitely not going to give.
exactly.
No, a man is not going to give another man a compliment about their clothing, their accessories, nothing.
Maybe back in the days when we were wearing ties, I would compliment somebody's tie.
Okay,
I
yeah.
actually complimented someone's tie one day, and I didn't know, but his culture, that meant that he should take it off and give it to me.
Oh
I
no.
was shocked, and I still had that tie.
Wow. So, and how did that make you feel?
Um, very good after I got over the initial shock,
Yeah,
but I made sure never to compliment anything he wore again.
right. You didn't want him to take off anything else, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so true though. Like it probably made you feel good and then you wanted to compliment more maybe. But it is definitely a different scenario with a man and a man, right?
Yeah. Here's my thought, but I'll let Earl have his say. The brain is millions and millions of synapses, and it's all driven by endorphins. And endorphins can be triggered by happiness, by anger, by it probably same nerves of fire when you get cut off in traffic as when you let somebody in traffic, right?
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, it makes sense that you're going to get that brain high from doing a good deed.
for sure. Yeah, definitely gonna get some dopamine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one on the driving and letting somebody in because I'm a true believer. If you do that once or twice, somebody will do that for you, especially around here. I don't know how the roads are in your area, but we get the one thing I've learned is stay in the middle, never get into the right lane because you might be stuck in the lane that you have to make a right. So it's just that's the way the roads are, how they are around here. Getting back to compliments at the beginning here. I want to go back to what happened on Wednesday with the men's fellowship dinner we had. We have a gentleman who I get from now I know he got a big break at his work. He got something to do with stocks and bonds, or I guess something to do with trading, and he got a big deal. I guess he got a significant amount of money. I'm not gonna throw numbers out there, but let's just say he got a blessing, a financial blessing, and he was able to pay off some bills and do what he needed to do. But the guy's only 2 years younger than me, and what he wanted to do was, especially with me, he said, "Hey, let me treat you to dinner. I know finances are a little tight right now for you. Let me help you out." And he bought me dinner. It's those little things that mean a lot. And I'm sure, once I start accelerating, hopefully by the end of this month into June, um, I could get that right back. And whether it's coffee, whether it's even lunch, whatever, those things come. It comes back to you. And another thing is, one thing in my profession, y- Christine, you'll notice a lot around the board. Some guys, the way they dress for their appointments, and I mean, we got guys that show up in shirt and tie. Others they show up in a t-shirt, literally. But I think professional, in my opinion, business professionalism is everything. And for me personally, I don't mind wearing a dress up shirt and looking like you're a VP because it also propels an image on you, how you feel about yourself. And you'd be surprised how many comments you get from the ladies. "Oh, you look nice today." Thank you. Yeah, I'm on my way to a meeting. Or even a new cologne that I bought. I actually got for me for Christmas. It smells amazing. You know, it's projecting the self image to doing something good for you because you got to learn to love yourself before you love others.
Yep. And like, so like going back to the trader that did really well and had a really well month or whatever, he was just trying to pay it forward, right? When bless others like he was blessed, right? Because it's definitely a
Right.
blessing. And, it's definitely another blessing to be able to pay that forward to somebody else, right?
Right.
And he
Well,
probably felt really good about having the blessing, right? Getting the money, but then also using it for something good instead of, something evil or, just going to spend it on himself. It's
he,
different when you get to use it for good instead of bad, right?
he's actually talking about moving to Florida because he says that's the only place down there where he can ride his bike without his helmet and feel free. Now, I don't know what part of Florida he's
I
going
don't know
to.
either because I don't think that would exist down here.
Uh,
I'd be worried about driving a bike down here without a helmet.
well, I know he's we encourage him. We love you a lot, bro. Wear a helmet.
Yes,
It's
yes,
just
definitely wear a helmet,
he's what we
especially
call
down here because you got tourists and snowbirds that come here.
yeah,
A lot of traffic
yeah. I
and a
can.
lot of traffic of people that don't know where they're going.
And as far as giving is concerned, um, one of the things I want to do probably next year, not now, but next year, is give back to a charity fund for sick children. We have a hospital here in Raleigh, North Carolina, called Duke Children's Hospital, and every year they do a radiothon to help raise money for equipment like that. That's something I feel like would be in my bread box, so to speak, because helping children. They are our future, and we try to get them better. And I think that kind of touches his heart for me. So I pray to God that it allows me to do that, because I think for me that's what works for me. And we in our church, when we give, most of us, if not all of us, we give online. And he's got three different kinds of giving. Give general giving. Also, if you're doing giving for missions and for other stuff, I like to let's just say be creative with it. And not only for missions, which that's another thing on my bucket list, is to go on another mission trip, because you're giving back your time, but showing your unconditional love for other people.
Yeah, for sure. And like, how do we feel like giving back, right?
Right.
Like
Uh, well, how do
I
we
I
feel?
like to give, so for me it's normal, it's like a normal habit. Like I see a homeless person, I'm definitely giving them something, whether it's food or money. It's just the way I am. And the way I'm built. And now my kids are doing it, right? Like my son and his girlfriend actually went and got a home cooked meal, right? Like her mom cooked a meal and there was leftover. So she got a plate together, and there was a homeless veteran that they see at the gym or by the gym a lot. And they went and they gave him money, but they also gave him this home cooked meal, right? I mean, that is definitely giving back. And then they sat there and talked to him for a minute. They it wasn't like they just handed it over and walked away. He told him his story and that he'd been homeless for since 2000, I think 17. So it's not, I mean, he's been homeless for a minute, right? And then, they were trying to give him pointers on how to get help and assistance, but sometimes they don't want it, right? But giving back. Go ahead, Mike.
I
Did you want to
think,
add something?
yeah, I think Jay Shetty was talking today about the immediate burst of endorphins when you do something in person. But Earl, you bring up a good point. I mean, if I give $100 to Rotary's polio fund, I'm helping. I think a dose of polio vaccine is like 50 cents. So I'm helping, 200 kids in a third world country that I will never meet. And
But
but I think it has the same, you still feel good about it
For
when
sure.
you realize the impact. You have to think about it a little more, because sometimes it's just, automatic debit for, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's that
It
money coming
automatically,
out of my
yeah.
account again.
Yeah. But so you do have to think about it a little bit more in depth but then every time you see it coming out of your account, you're able to like revisit that thought, right?
It was like Jennifer started giving, uh, automatically giving weekly to her church.
Yeah.
It's probably about the only thing left from our weddings. Church will be there forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't miss it. Like, oh, it's $25 a week. It's
No,
supposed to.
right. And if we're blessed, we're taught to bless others, right?
right.
Exactly.
Go ahead,
And
Earl.
I was gonna say, on my new website that I just published this past week, one of the things I want to add, I haven't added it on yet because I'm just getting started. I want to add on a page, and I'm trying to think of a creative name for the giving part when I get back. I want to show people out there that I do care. I am human, and I want to, be a part of a community that gives. Because if clients and people see that, they know you're a human. They know you're not just a salesperson. You're somebody who is an agency owner who cares. And I think the more you do that, just giving without being selfish about it, um, you know, God teaches us to learn lessons, but also to be giving to others. So, I just think that's important. And one other thing I wanted to add in there, you know, uh, part time I do DoorDash. I'm delivering food and sometimes groceries to other people. And the one thing that when I leave a store or someplace, I'm not afraid to leave the door open for the person coming in. It's showing that a little bit of respect, especially if it's an elderly person. You'd be surprised how many they say, "Oh, thank you. You're a wonderful gentleman." That 2 seconds of gratitude can actually launch your day and give you a little more energy, especially in the afternoon. Because even at coffee shop, you see somebody coming, all it takes 2 seconds, just hold the door, be a gentleman. Because even if you're having a rough afternoon, somebody pisses you off on the road, take 2 steps back, say, don't let it go. Just open the door for somebody. It's it's motions up and down, up and down.
Yeah. And like, I like, that's a great thought. Like at our church, for instance, there's a lot of people. So they have like parking people that are outside, and then they have ushers at the door, like opening the door for us, right? Because in the when the pastor talks about this and why he does this is because like you don't know if that person that's coming into that lot is running on empty, right? Like they just had a bad week or a bad morning, or maybe they just lost a loved one, or maybe they just fought with their spouse, or maybe their kids are acting up, so they're driving into the parking lot on fumes, right? And the first thing you see is a parking attendant waving at you and smiling, right? Imagine, I mean, and every time we go into the church parking lot, they're smiling and waving. And then they open the door for you and they're saying, "Hey, good morning," and they're happy and they're smiling, and it definitely changes your mood, right? Would you guys agree? If someone is sitting there smiling and waving at you, that's going to change your mood. Would you
You
agree?
know, Christine, when I first joined Bethany Assembly of God in Agawam, that's the church when I went to up in Massachusetts, and I was there for quite a few years. I joined the hospitality team. Just I wanted to be a part of something, and one of the ushers who I made good friends with, he told me, he said, "Why don't you just be an usher for a little bit? Open the door for somebody, make somebody smile, put a smile on your face, say good morning. That's all it takes. It's real easy, not rocket science." He said, and he goes, a lot of times you make people's day just by that simple gesture to open up the door for somebody and say, "Good morning, how's your day?" And then they feel a lot better. They said, "Oh, better now." You know,
Yeah.
even on a rainy day, if somebody needs help getting to their vehicle, get the umbrella out, escort them to the vehicle. It's the little gestures like that. And that kind of changed my attitude, because I got to admit, I was a little, I don't want to say humble, but my ego was a little bit up when I first joined that church. But I'll tell you what, after meeting the pastor and some other people that really put tears in my eye, that changed me in a heartbeat, because I knew I had a second home.
Yeah, for sure. Love that.
Yeah.
Mike, you got anything else?
Yeah. I will say I think Earl had the mic drop today. Learn to love yourself before you love others.
Well, yeah, I tell you what, it took a lot of me to say something like that, because years back, before you even knew me, trust me, I was a total 180. I have to admit it. I'm not gonna lie. I have changed my ways at the age of 57. I'm re-kicking my life and just learn to love myself and love others, and just enjoying life while I'm still on this earth.
Yeah, for sure. Love that.
Well, well, folks, as you can see, we are not licensed therapists, nor do we tend to be, but we do listen to the app, Calm, where Jay Shetty has his audios and videos, and we learn a lot about each other. We discuss what's on here, and we certainly hope you'll come back and share some more ideas. And feel free to leave a friendly comment in the comment section if you wish. And don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe for more content. And we hope you have a great day. And for all you moms out there, happy Mother's Day weekend.
Deuces. And don't forget to do a random act of kindness for somebody today.
Yes.
Have a great day.